Jones Bones? It is your girl Unitedly Random, and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today we will not be doing the wisdom of Rumi, and I think I call it today we're going to get into a little video called the upsides of having a mental breakdown. This was a video created by the School of Life. Now if you like the philosophy like I do, you're gonna like the School of Life. And the School of Life, it just spoke to me, okay? One of my followers on TikTok said, girl, you gotta look into it, you're gonna learn something. You seem like the type that's gonna like this. And that person was correct. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just going to, I guess, pretend like this is my first time watching it and giving a reaction to it. I've already watched it. I've already given a reaction to it, but I haven't watched it and given a reaction to it on my channel. So yes. Now, before we even get even further into the video, because you know my intros be long AF, I want to let you guys know that we are currently in a crowdfunding situation. If you haven't seen Monday's video, I think it said financial freedom. Are we gonna get there? Are you guys gonna help me? If you can't help, just make sure that you watch my videos and my ads all the way through. And if you got a little spare change, I do have 4 membership options on my channel. One of them being the phalanges. So if you guys want to be a part of the finger club, you know where to go. That join button is down below. I want to go ahead and give a quick thank you to Araceli Espinoza, Cool Breeze, and Drake's Ghostwriter. And go ahead and watch that intro.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And we are back. And like, let me tell you, I love the School of Life. I enjoy watching the videos. And today we're watching a video again. I'm gonna tell you the name of it again. And it's the upsides of having a mental breakdown. And I am playing the video.
One of the saddest and most puzzling phenomena of psychological life are the incidents commonly known as breakdowns, in which people find themselves suddenly unable to carry out their normal duties and fall silent, take to bed, and cannot stop crying.
Oh my goodness, this takes me back to when I was going through my mental breakdown. When I was going through my mental breakdown, all I could do was feel like this level of numbness. Like I did not know how to smile. I did not know how to laugh. And just listening to people just kind of felt like I was so far away that I wasn't even there anymore. So this is taking me back. And like when I hear that and I think about where I was, it's a reminder of where I am now, right? I've been doing like this weekend I was having like my own little breakdown, and I was like, what am I gonna do with life? You know, how am I gonna make it in this world? Social media, what is that? You know, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it, you know what I'm saying? One thing about me, my lips a little dry, so one thing about me is I'm gonna provide. I'm gonna provide for my family. Y'all know Yasmin. Y'all know my baby girl Yasmin. Yes, y'all ain't seen her in a while, but she's still here. She learning from her mama. She like to stand and watch me when I do my videos and stuff like that. But don't pay attention to her. She in timeout. So yes, let's continue.
It can look mysterious from the outside, but what is almost always happening is an attempt to untie a lie that someone else has surreptitiously knotted into our lives. Beneath the breakdown, a long repressed truth is trying to break through layers of deception.
Again, beneath your breakdown, a long covered truth is trying to break through the deception. So the very first time I really think to myself, like I had a breakdown, was when I was confronted with this idea from a ex-friend of mine that told me that you should be okay with being alone. Now, I'm one of those people that really had attachment issues growing up. Like I always wanted to be somebody's friend, but I wasn't trying to not be myself to be someone's friend. And that's the thing. People kind of expect you to be like them if you want to be their friend. I was just trying to be myself and trying to be accepted for myself. And part of the things that I noticed about myself is that I loved, like, people make me, right? And my friend told me, you can't love anyone until you love yourself. At that moment, it was hard for me to love myself because everyone in my life showed me that I was unlovable, right? Even myself, right? I can't just put the blame on everyone in my life. But it was really hard. I think the idea that you have to love yourself before you can love someone else, that's the idea that your family tells you to make you care about yourself and or that's what society tells you. But a lot of the times I truly do believe that when people are giving this information, they are giving this information from a certain level. Maybe, oh, you just have a little bit of, what do you call them? It's like self-esteem issues, but you still have a loving home. You still have someone in the world that loves you. And at that point, my friend and everyone telling me, you gotta love yourself before you can love someone else, was just a reminder that there was no one in this world that loved me. So what was my reasoning for being there? And it definitely did, it did break me down because in my head I thought it was okay to not completely love yourself as long as you just kept trucking on, because one day you could love yourself. And I thought it was okay to be in a relationship where I was still in my own self a little unsure of who I am and what I want to be, because like if you think about it, who really knows who they are? Who really knows where they want to be? You have an idea, how are you going to get there? You know, we can make plans all day, but the plans don't necessarily become a reality, you know, for at least some of us.
A person is unable to function normally because normality has grown riddled with something incoherent, mean, and impossible.
Boom. And so they say, oh yeah, we can't perform this normality because normality doesn't make sense to me. That level of normality where you have to 100% love yourself and you can't want to be around people, you should be fine by yourself, is what people want to tell you. But the reality is, at the end of the day, sometimes you're just not fine by yourself. And there's different types of people, and different types of people move differently, right? When I was growing up, one of the things that would really get to me and really made me question my own reality was how always people would tell me that I was too sensitive or you're too emotional, right? That was my normalcy. That was my reality. I am just emotional. I am just sensitive, right? That's not a bad thing, but society will see it as a bad thing. When I stepped into just allowing myself that sensitivity, allowing myself to see what makes me crack, what makes me feel some type of way, what makes me feel like I'm bending, what makes me uncomfortable, I was able to set boundaries. And when I set boundaries, instead of just stop being so sensitive, when I set boundaries, I was able to flourish in a way that I was unable to ever truly flourish at a young age because everyone wanted me to be normal. Well, this is my normal, right? And so playing by society's rules, you know what I'm saying? Playing by society rules can get you killed, you know what I'm saying? Y'all feel me? By yourself, you feel me? You feel me? I'm being serious right now. But you know, I'm still alive.
The breakdown is a logical bid for health and truth, masquerading as an illness. What has made us ill tends to be a variety of perverse injunctions under which those we trusted may have made us live. For example, I'm ostensibly asking you to succeed, but I won't love you if you do.
My mama. My mama.
Or, you must fail in order that I can bear my disappointment.
say, there's some people that come in mind when she says you must fail in order for me to bear my disappointment. There's a lot of people, even like the haters on my TikTok, they don't want me to succeed, because if I succeed being myself, then they have to confront the disappointment of the entire time where I was just being myself and loving myself. They were hating on me and they got nowhere, and look how far I went. You know what I'm saying? Make it about me, it's my channel.
Or you must feel terrible about yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Shore up my sense.
Oh my gosh, there's so many people that you could I could pinpoint in my head, like people that hear my story, and they'll hear my story and they have this idea of, either if you share your story, there's this idea, right? There's idea that, oh, maybe you're just sharing it for sympathy, or on another note, people have this idea when I share my story that you must feel very bad about yourself, and I'm like, I'm staying alive, I'm doing this, I'm getting this done. And then when they see me do that, well, then they'll try to disengage the past from the current me. No, baby, don't do that. Don't do that, because my past is a part of the current me. Some people like to play the game of, my childhood has absolutely nothing to do with the adult I am today. Well, depending on how long you've been living and how long you've been healing yourself, because if you didn't do any healing, baby, your childhood is showing on your face and you don't even know sometimes. Your childhood is right there, just like an open wound that you never healed. And so, for me, my childhood is not an open wound that I've never healed. It's a wound that has scabbed over. And when I talk about my childhood, that is not me picking at that scab. That's me being like, look at my cool scar. Y'all gotta get that about me. Y'all gotta understand. I'm putting it down so y'all can understand. When I'm talking about my past, even if it gets really horrible, even if I got tears in my eyes, it's like, look at this cool scar I got. I'm surviving, and it feels very powerful to be able to tell your story, especially for me, because I tell y'all all the time, I grew up in an environment where you could not speak about what's going on in the house. You could not speak about what's going on in your head. It was an unsafe environment, point blank, period. And then I became an adult, and I met other adults that continued to make me feel like the world was an unsafe environment. And I got tired of it, to tell y'all the truth. I got really tired. I had my breakdowns. I had my emotional moments. I just could not understand why everybody's trying to teach me that the world will never be a safe place for someone like me. And it dawned on me. It's because they feel like it's never going to be a safe space for them. People project way too oftenly, and we all know that people project. I project, well, actually I don't project too much. Well, I project myself into situations, and I see myself from that point of view, like this video. See, this right here is my pretty girl swag. Anyway, I've been really hyped lately. I've been feeling really, really good. And so it's because things are starting to make sense. Things are starting to roll. Things are starting to make me feel like I have actually been doing stuff. And there's times where I go down. I go down because I started thinking about how society views me. And then when I just say, fuck it, and I just start living the way I want to live, when I start chasing my happiness, when I start chasing my joy, I'm untouchable. But that's a very interesting thing. People want you to feel terrible about yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. People hear my story and they see how far I went, and they want to be like, oh, you're just saying this for attention, because part of them feels like no one ever wants to hear their story. That is a lie. I always want to hear y'all story. I want to hear people where you come from. I want to hear about your childhood. I want to hear about what makes you you, right? But people feel like no one cared about my story. Why should I care about your story, right? People feel like, oh, my life wasn't like your life. You had a hell of a life and you're still doing this. You're still succeeding. It makes them feel bad about where they are in life. So it's easy for them to be like, oh, you're just doing this for attention. Oh, it's easy for them to try to view me in a bad light because it takes the bad light away from them. Their mindset starts to look at themselves and be like, well, she had all this shit happen to her, and look at her now. Don't do that about me. Each of us has a light that can burn bright. We just gotta let it. And when I let my light burn bright, don't try to dim my light. Look at how I'm letting my light burn bright. And then try to adapt it into your own way. Let your light burn bright, baby. Let it burn.
Or
yeah.
worry all the time so that I can be carefree.
Mm.
Or you can never be happy, for it would make me too sad.
Mm.
We have probably been trying to make sense of these paradoxical messages for a long time.
Exactly.
But now, rightly so, we can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
We are compelled to untangle the perverse position we have been placed in. Our illness acts as our conscience. It won't let up until we have figured out the truth. It can't tell us the truth by itself, but it is urging us to make the effort to find it out.
You gotta listen to your intuition. And everyone can unlock their intuition for themselves. Everyone can find, damn, baby. Damn. You gonna do me like that, bitch? What?
The twitching, paranoia, or despair are there to keep us honest. The illness's contract with us is understand me and I will leave you alone. Ignore me and I will upset normality to prevent you from deceiving yourself any longer.
Boom! And that was what it was like with me when I had my breakdown. There was these other ideas of how people believe you should live your life where they don't even know who you are as a person. And it's really funny because the person that was giving me this advice, although it was an ex-boyfriend, I never felt like I could be myself around that boyfriend. And so it was like he never truly knew the real me. And so he was giving me advice. I guess maybe he heard it, or maybe if he was in my situation, that was the advice he needed to hear, or just maybe he wanted to help. But telling someone that the way that they live or the way that they move when it hurts no one is horrible and they'll never be able to sustain it. And you tell them that they'll never be able to be happy if they don't live in the same way that you want them to live, in the same way that you dream of yourself living. That doesn't seem like you want them to succeed. But yeah, the ideas, these ideologies started to get to me, and this idea of like, what do I need to do to exist in this world? What do I need to do to be perfect? There was nothing I could do to be perfect because the world isn't, what am I trying to say? I'm getting lost. The world isn't built on acting normal. The world is built on exploring. The world is built on individuality. So why try to take my individuality away from me?
Illness is the midwife of truth. The fortunate ones among us manage to decode the riddle. We begin to get a sense of who may have aggressed us, and how odd and sad it is that they should have done so. Not least because they might be our parent or our spouse. We have fallen ill because we have been victims of a cruelty which we needed the cover of madness to be able to look at.
We have fallen ill because we've fallen ill because we needed to be able to see this cruelty. We needed to be able to understand this, because if we were not having a mental breakdown, if we were not in that mental space, the things that people have done to us and the things that people have said to us, it does not make sense. And that's the thing. It truly does not make sense that people treat each other as badly as people treat each other. It truly does not make sense that people don't listen to each other as much as they need to listen to each other. But that is all for today. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Make sure to send this video around, if it, like, to anyone, and help me get views. And much love and positive vibes, and I will see you next time.